Leo was a humble young man who lived in a small countryside village. Every morning, he rose before the sun, walked to the fields, and worked tirelessly under the heat. He didn't have much, but he had two things that defined him: honesty and a heart full of hope. One afternoon, after years of hard work, Leo's employer approached him with a smile. "You've worked harder than anyone, my boy," the man said. "Take this as a token of gratitude." In his hand was a small piece of gold, shining brightly in the sunlight. Leo's eyes widened. He had never held anything so precious in his life. "This," he thought, "will finally change everything. My luck has arrived." Filled with excitement, he began walking back home, clutching the gold tightly. As he walked, his mind flooded with dreams. A new house, better clothes, maybe even his own farm someday. But as the hours passed, the gold started to feel heavier and heavier in his pocket. His back ached, his hands sweated, and he realized the precious metal was actually a burden. The trade for a horse. By evening, Leo reached a small roadside town. There, he saw a man sitting proudly on a magnificent brown horse. The horse's coat shimmered in the light, and it moved with grace. Leo's tired body and sore feet made the horse look like heaven itself. "Sir," he said eagerly, "would you trade your horse for my gold?" The man grinned. "You've got yourself a deal." Within moments, the exchange was made. Leo hopped on the horse's back, grinning ear to ear. The wind rushed through his hair as he rode, feeling like a king for the first time. But his joy didn't last long. The horse was wild, untrained, and impossible to control. After a short while, it bucked violently. Leo fell to the ground, scraping his knees and elbows. When he looked up, he saw a nearby farmer leading a gentle cow. The farmer smiled kindly and said, "Looks like your horse doesn't like riders. Want to trade it for my cow?" "She gives fresh milk every morning." Leo thought for a moment, then agreed. The cow that stopped giving milk for a few days, Leo was happy again. He drank milk, rested under trees, and imagined selling dairy to earn a living. But soon the cow stopped giving milk altogether. No matter what he tried, fresh grass, water, rest, nothing worked. His dreams faded once more. That afternoon, he met a man with a fat pig. The man said, "That cow looks like more work than it's worth. Trade her for this pig." "You'll never go hungry again." Desperate and hungry, Leo agreed again. The pig that wouldn't stop screaming. At first, he was pleased with his new trade. But by nightfall, the pig began squealing endlessly. It was loud, smelly, and impossible to keep clean. The noise drove him mad. The next morning, Leo crossed paths with a traveler carrying a beautiful white goose. Its feathers were clean and shining like snow. "Friend," Leo said, "your goose is so calm and lovely. Would you trade it for my pig?" The traveler chuckled. "If you wish," Leo sighed in relief as he handed over the noisy pig. Finally, peace. The stone that sank, as Leo continued walking home with the graceful goose tucked under his arm. He came upon a man sharpening knives on a grinding stone. The steady whir fascinated him. "What a wonderful tool," Leo said. "With that stone, I could start my own business sharpening knives. I'd finally earn my living." He quickly offered the goose in exchange, and the man accepted. Leo proudly placed the grinding stone in his pocket and continued on his way, already imagining his future. But as he crossed a narrow bridge over a stream, his foot slipped. He caught his balance, but in the process the stone slipped from his pocket. He watched in horror as it tumbled into the river below. Plop! And disappeared beneath the rippling water. He stood there frozen. No gold, no horse, no cow, no pig, no goose, not even the stone. Everything was gone. The moment of realization. For a long moment, Leo just stared at the water. The sun was setting, painting the sky with colors of orange and gold. The wind was cool on his face. He had lost everything, yet he suddenly felt light. He began to smile. Then he started to laugh, softly at first, then louder and louder, until tears streamed down his cheeks. He laughed so hard that passing travelers stared in confusion. But Leo didn't care. At that moment, he finally understood. All my life, he thought, I've been chasing things. Gold, animals, trades, thinking they'd make me happy. But happiness was never in them. It was in me all along. He realized that every trade, every loss, every disappointment had stripped away his false idea of happiness, until nothing remained but freedom. For the first time in his life, he felt truly free. Free from greed, from comparison, from fear of losing. The moral of the story: that evening, Leo walked home empty-handed but peaceful. He no longer dreamed of gold or riches. Instead, he noticed the things he had ignored before: the sound of birds, the smell of wet soil, the laughter of children playing nearby. He smiled and whispered to himself, "When I had everything, I was burdened. Now that I have nothing, I finally have peace." Reflection in life: we often cling to things, money, possessions, even people, believing they will make us happy. But true happiness isn't in having more, it's in needing less. Every loss carries a hidden gift, the chance to see what truly matters. So when life takes something from you, don't despair. Sometimes losing everything is how you finally find yourself.